So I showed you C1 and C2. Let's go into the types. Okay, so looking at these three, okay, you could see a difference. Okay, lumbar is going to be huge. The the thoracic is going to have this long spinous process at the end, and then we talked about the cervical having the holes on the side. Okay, so let's go over all the structures for these, and like I said before, if you know one, you know all three of them because they're going to be the same. So looking at this, this is going to be the body, okay, the vertebral body. This part here, transverse process. Within the transverse process, the hole is the transverse foramen. This hole in the middle is your vertebral foramen where the vertebrae goes. So as I turn this around, the back part is the spinous process. This portion that leads into the spinous process, where my pencil is, that's called your lamina. Okay. Now you can see here, you've got projections up and down. You've got these little things that go up. Okay. I'll show you on the thoracic. It's a little bit easier to see. But this thing that goes up, all right, this thing that goes up is called your superior articulating process. Superior articulating process, and then you're going to see a smooth part of it. That's your superior articulating facet. And if I put this up like this, same thing here, but this is the bottom side. So this is your inferior articulating process. This is the inferior articulating process, and then the smooth part of that is your inferior articulating facet. Okay, let's move on to the thoracic vertebrae. You have 12 of these, a little bit bigger, so a little bit easier to see. Same structures. This is your body. Okay, these, okay, that stick up, all right, are called your superior articulating process. If you turn it around, if you see the smooth portion, superior articulating facet. Underneath, right here and here, your inferior articulating process. The smooth part, inferior articulating facet. Now this doesn't have the holes on the side, but it's got these things that go to the side. Those are your transverse process, okay, points of attachment. Easier to see on this right here. You've got, where I'm drawing with my pencil here and here. These make up the walls of the, so this is your vertebral foramen. So this structure that makes up the walls is called your pedicle. So that's your pedicle that just kind of wraps around and makes the walls. Okay, if you look and I turn it around, the thoracic have a long spinous process. This is the lamina, this is the lamina. So the walls are right here and here. That's your lamina. Okay. Now going to the lumbar, there's 5 of these. You could just see how big the body is. Same structures. This is the body, vertebral foramen, superior articulating process, the smooth part, superior articulating facet. Go to the bottom parts, inferior articulating process, the smooth parts, inferior articulating facet. The ones off to the side are your transverse process. The one in the back, let me take this tape off. This is going to be your spinous process. The things that lead up to it is your lamina. Okay. Looking at this, you can kind of see it. See how that goes like that? That's your vertebral arch. Vertebral arch. Where the red dots are, I drew it on this. The walls that make that up, that's the pedicle. Okay, it makes up the walls. All right, a couple things. All right, so that's kind of the structure. You can kind of see how all those names repeat. One thing, if I put this here between the vertebrae that goes like this, all right, that's called your intervertebral disc. Okay, so if I just throw these on the table, that's the intervertebral disc. That's the discs that provide cushion between the vertebrae. One thing I did want to show though, if this is my superior articulating process, how does this kind of connect? It's kind of like a Lego piece. So if this is my superior articulating process, what happens is it articulates with the inferior of the next one. So these two are going to articulate just like that. All right. Now when those articulate like that, you see a hole, and that hole, I'm going to put my pencil in, that's called your intervertebral foramen. These don't match that well. Let's see if these two do. All right, a little bit better. Intervertebral foramen. So when you put these two together, there's a little hole, and that's where the nerves come out of. The nerves are going to come right out through that hole. Okay. Perfect. Thank you, guys.